Many people think that this phenomenon has no effect on them, but it does. In this three-part series, we will dive into a controversial topic and how it affects the Crossroads. It's a subject that sparks controversy everywhere. Politically,
we have a major global crisis.
Through the media, even in scientific journals. Yet some people aren't so sure about its existence. We're talking about climate change.
Well, climate change is what happens when the amount of green gases increases, and there's a change in the overall temperature of the Earth. And this has been something that's been of concern for many citizens over the past several years.
Joe Ariano Jr., meteorologist in charge at the National Weather Service in New Braunfels, says that climate change and its effects are arguably real and present across the globe. You just have to pay attention to the evidence.
It's something that's occurring. There's a lot of controversy as to whether it's occurring or not, but the overall science is showing that the overall temperature of the Earth is increasing slowly. We are seeing this by the melting of the ice caps on the poles, and so that will eventually attribute to some rises in the sea level as well.
Climate change is also sometimes called global warming, mostly by the general populace. This is because the biggest sign of climate change that people have heard about is increasing global temperatures. Increasing temperatures affect other parts of the oceanic atmospheric system as well.
It's a way to describe it of what's happening in terms of the fact that the global changes in the temperature could eventually affect the weather patterns that occur across the entire Earth. And this is why it's called climate change and global changes that occur in terms of the temperatures. As they increase, the green gases increase, the temperature of the Earth increases overall. And this is what causes the changes in the main weather patterns across not only the poles, but also in the equator and other areas of the Earth.
When people think of the climate changing, they think of the global climate, which is often evidenced by seemingly minute degree changes. But the climate here in South Texas is changing. September 2019 was one of the hottest months on record, not only for the Crossroads, but the entire United States and even the world. But heat is not the only thing we should be concerned about.
Well, what we can probably see is perhaps in terms of rainfall, because the warmer the atmosphere gets, the more it's capable of holding additional moisture. And so this will perhaps lead to more significant rainfalls in certain areas. Other areas may see increasing in drought conditions. So, or the variability may be even more between drought and flooding. So this is what we see in Texas here every year. As they say, every drought is broken by a flood here in Texas. And so that pattern probably will continue as well.
Tune in next time to hear what Mr. Ariano has to say about hurricane season and climate change. In Victoria, I'm Alexandra Kent for your Hometown News.
That was really great information. Why do you suppose this has become such a political ongoing debate?
Yeah, I think it's mainly because it affects something that involves maybe some science, and maybe some people aren't just so sure about it, and some politicians have definitely taken a stance on either side of the party system either. So it just kind of, I guess, people flock to whatever their party believes in, but you got to look at the science behind all of this and see that it's actually happening. And also money, you know, money runs the politics, runs the world, so definitely has to do with that as well.
All right, thank you, Alexandra. We'll see you back at 6. The city of Victoria